It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. You know, I saw this product by Xerox called Care AR. Folks, I got to be honest with you. You know, every time I see this product, I get a little bit more excited. But I also started paying attention to the automobile industry about, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, pretty intensely. Because a lot of the things the automobile industry was going through, our friends in the Documented channel are going through the same things. I'm going to show you a slide now, and then I'm going to talk to you about why I believe what Xerox is doing with Care AR is really going to change the game in the Documented channel in ways that most of y'all are not imagining. Or maybe you just have some prejudice against Xerox. Or maybe Global beat you out of a deal years ago and you think Xerox sucks. Who knows? But here's the reality. You better pay attention to what's coming, because the technology that Xerox is using with Care AR is going to definitely be a game changer. It's going to be a game changer in the ways Tesla changed the game of the automobile industry. And when I think about our friends over in the automobile industry, think about all the OEMs, Ford and Chevy and Dodge, all these folks, right? Here's the deal. They needed what? They needed a dealership with a service department. They needed a dealership with a service department because the annuity business on automobiles was very, very lucrative. I mean, it was bigger than the automobiles themselves in a lot of cases, right? Kind of like our industry. You sell the equipment's made to break, the equipment's made to use parts and consume parts. And so the aftermarket business for the Documented channel was good. It was lucrative. It made a lot of people rich. But guess what? Just like Elon Musk with Tesla came in and disrupted that marketplace, the OEMs, as they consolidate, and they will, folks, the print OEMs are going to consolidate. And as they consolidate and there's fewer players left in the market, guess what's going to happen? The end users are going to evaluate products that don't break. They're not going to evaluate the OEM that has the best service when they need service. They're going to evaluate products that don't break, just like the automobile industry end users are going to evaluate automobiles that don't break. This insanity that the combustible motor people convinced themselves over the last 5 or 6 years when the electric vehicle was apparently taking over their space, and they kept saying things like, oh, people have to drive farther than 300 miles a day and all this crazy nonsense. They weren't paying attention to the masses of people that only drive 100 miles a day at the most, right? Folks, 90% of drivers today could easily drive an electric vehicle, and 90% of every single business machine that's in the hallway of all the businesses the Documented channel services supports don't have to be A3s, they could be A4s. And those A4s will in fact do what? Have less parts and less service, and the OEMs will fight to perfect that. The ones that are left anyway. But now I want to talk about our friends over at Xerox and how this plays in. When I think about Care AR, this augmented reality, allowing technicians to service things that they've never seen before, because now they can see it virtually. This is a game changer. This makes me rethink all the thoughts about how, selling multiple brands and servicing multiple brands was insane and costly. Well, the old way it was. But with augmented reality and AI, I don't think it is at all. Technicians are smart, right? I mean, they're smart just because they didn't see the Konica. If they could see it in front of them with the directions, they could surely fix it. Remember the old days, call the 800 number, sitting on hold all day long, leaving the customer down, blah, a bunch of nonsense, right? Care AR is going to change that. But here's something y'all need to think about. Care AR also allows the largest dealer in the world, which is Xerox, to service and support multiple brands. They don't need to just sell one brand like they did when they had Fuji relationship, right? One of the criticisms of Carl Icahn was, we got all these other brands. We should be just selling Xerox. But here's the deal, folks. Care AR changes that whole mindset, because the technicians could fix any brand they want. And so while the OEMs consolidate on each other, Xerox is in a perfect position. They can service all the brands they currently have through the global distribution model that they had, right? But they also have the power to go to the OEMs and say, we're the largest in the space. We're a $7 billion dealer. You want us to sell your products? Here's our conditions. Xerox doesn't need an OEM, like many of us, including me, thought just a few short months ago. They don't. Xerox can deliver into the marketplace any products and service those products with the capabilities of AR and AI. This is big news. This is interesting. It's also a game changer. Because as the OEMs continue to make the products less service intensive, what's going to happen? It's going to open the door for others to deliver those products to the end users. It's going to open the door for the Disties and the Amazons of the world to start replacing more and more of those A3s in the hallways, the majority of the document imaging channel's customers, with a better product delivered through a better means, where the customer can evaluate the service because they don't need to have service. And while that happens, because that will take some time, folks, Xerox has the bridge to live in both worlds. So we need to think about this and think about it hard. Because the bottom line is, this augmented reality, it's not just for copy machines. It's for all industries that service things. And all industries that service things, guess what? They're going to go through those same evolutions. And when new players have a way to service something that was only serviced by somebody different for decades, and they can do it in a way to give a better experience to the end user, that's called innovation. That's called kicking the old way to the curb. And so, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of things that are going to happen in the document imaging channel. But one thing we know for absolutely sure, status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all tomorrow.